Hey y'all, who dat? What is up? I'm Jeff Nowak. This is a special edition of Inside Black and Gold. I say special, it's not that special, it's just weird. I'm on here. We're going to do a quick reaction to the Derek Carr news that came out on Friday. Now, if you've been following along, I don't know how you could have missed it, but Ian Rappaport reported that Derek Carr is dealing with a shoulder injury, did not specify which shoulder, but did say that it could be an injury that cost him this season, right? So that's obviously something that threw a grenade into every single Saints plan. We're 2 days away from the Saints beginning their offseason workouts. We're about 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. So there will be a lot of conversations about this injury in the coming days. So I'm not going to go too far into it, but I did want to get to something we'll be talking a lot over the next few days, next few weeks about, hey, do the Saints go with the quarterback at number 9? Do things change for them? I don't think they should. I think if you weren't going to draft a quarterback at number 9 on Thursday, you shouldn't draft a quarterback at number 9 on Saturday. You have to go by your board and you have to trust your scouting, and we'll see. If they were on the fence about taking a quarterback, if they did feel like, hey, we do have a first round grade on this guy and we're just kind of questioning the value, then maybe that does push you over the edge. But that's something we'll talk about. Will it be Tyler Shugh? I think I know how to say his name. Shough. He's a Louisville quarterback. Will it be a Quinn Ewers? Will it be a Jackson Dart? Will it be someone at the 40 pick? Will it be someone at the 71 pick? Will it be a rookie quarterback that's older than Trevor Lawrence? That's Tyler, by the way. It's the funniest, most COVID thing ever is the quarterback the Saints could draft at a Louisville that visited the team on Friday, basically at the same time that all this news was coming out about Derek Carr, is actually older than Trevor Lawrence. He's 25 years old. He's been in college forever. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Steve Geller and myself will be getting on here Monday, ideally. If not, we'll be coming on Tuesday, talk a lot about it. I'll be bringing Devin Johnson back on later in the week. I'm sure we will talk a lot about that as well. So stay tuned for a lot of that conversation. For now, I'm going to give you an interview that Steve Geller and myself did with Bobby Hebert. Came on Sports Talk yesterday right after the news broke, kind of broke down how he feels about it. Thought it was an interesting interview, so I wanted to throw that your way. If you're looking for more from that episode of Sports Talk, that'll be in the podcast feed. So if you want to go check it out there. Otherwise, thanks everyone for listening. As always, a lot more to come. And without further ado, Bobby Hebert.
Into our triple option feature, kind of a round table discussion we're going to have as the news of Derek Carr dealing with a shoulder injury that could threaten his availability for the 2025 season. He's currently reportedly exploring options with include surgery. Don't know too many details though right now, and potentially how serious this injury is. To help us talk about it though, the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, joins us here on Sports Talk. How's it going this Friday, Bobby?
All right, Steve and Jeff. I guess when it rains, it pours. It's not raining. It's a beautiful day. We've got a lot going on this weekend, but this is terrible news. I mean, especially if you want it to be representable next year as far as, I'm not saying being a playoff team, but I don't know. Right now, it's all for sure we got to get a quarterback now, but you can't reach. You cannot go and just make something out of nothing as far as, how do you have the quarterbacks graded? And, we're going to go with Spencer Rattler or what approach? It might be that almost you play out the season next year, unless you think you have the quarterback of the future, and then I would think you'd bring some stability, though, still with a veteran, like the Andy Dalton type,
right,
like Joe Flacco or somebody like that. But there is a great opportunity with Spencer Rattler, I guess, to show the Saints what he could do if he'd be the guy. But if it's you hear rumors, if it's season ending, it has to be his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder, not his left shoulder, because that wouldn't be season ending. So, this is bad news for the Who Dat Nation, and for the Saints to have invested all that money in him. There's no way he would have passed the physical if he was hurt. They wouldn't have paid him all that money. So, I was talking with Charlie. It must have recently just happened where all of a sudden surgery might be an option.
Right.
And then therefore you're going to play next year And it might be like, oh, well, we play next year, but we're really looking forward to the 2026 season. No, this is not good. I'm not saying Derek Carr would have worked magic and all of a sudden, win the Super Bowl hunt.
No, but you always say he gives you the chance to win.
Well, the only games we won is when he played. Spencer Rattler haven't even won a game.
Yeah, Bobby, my question would be, what would your preference be if Derek did not play? Would you like to see them draft a guy, start a rookie, go to Spencer, go sign a veteran and start that guy? What would your primary course be if you were making those decisions?
I would give Spencer Rattler every opportunity, and I would bring in a veteran. I wouldn't necessarily reach for a quarterback with the number 9 pick. Now, if you can work something out, trade, that's up to Mickey Loomis and all, and Jackson Dart and, Shedeur Sanders, I just don't think they worthy of a number 9 pick. Whether that be later first round or when the Saints would pick in the second round, then let them battle it out. Then you'd have Jackson Dart, Spencer Rattler, whoever it might be, or Shedeur. But as far as we have too many holes right now. I look at the supporting cast. None of these quarterbacks are necessarily going to make the players better around them. I think, and there's a number of quarterbacks like this in the NFL. You got to have a supporting cast for them to ultimately have success. There's only, a handful that are truly like the difference franchise, the difference-making quarterbacks. And so I just don't think it's in this draft. And they're not going to move up to get Cam Ward. Because
right.
Cam Ward would be the only one that I think would maybe be in that category. Like, for instance, if Shedeur and Jackson Dart, they came out in last year's draft. I think Charlie and I was talking about this, and Mike, that like Cam Ward, he wouldn't be the number 1 overall pick. He'd be like four, maybe the 4th or 5th guy. And then, I don't know, you look at Shedeur, he'd be kind of like Bo Nix. But if you really like him, look, Sean Payton really liked Bo Nix. And, so you look at that 10, 11, 12 pick around there, if you sold on him. But I just don't view Shedeur. The one thing I like about Shedeur, he's accurate with the football. And you can't coach accuracy, but a lot of times he takes too many sacks. And how he processes stuff, I just don't think he's a slam dunk for sure franchise quarterback. And I think Jackson Dart has just as good of an opportunity as Shedeur to have success in NFL, but it could be a starter. I don't view them like a Jaden Daniels.
If you were the Saints, would you be calling up Aaron Rodgers' agent right now?
That's a good question, Jeff. But that is because I can tell you right now, whether any young guy you would draft or Spencer Rattler, Aaron Rodgers would give us the best chance to win. Kind of like Derek Carr. I don't know, well, you're going to win something. I'm just saying how he can spin it, and I still think what he still has maybe, left in the tank. That I know Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest football throwers, passers of all time in NFL history. And I looked at the latter part of the season, he was still making some throws that can hang with the youngsters. So, but that'd be a short-term thing. That even if they would draft like a guy like Shedeur and Derek Carr is available to play, it'd be almost like a redshirt year for him. And then if you really believe in him that much, he'd be the guy in 26. But this does not bode well, I think, for the Saints in this upcoming season as far as expectations.
Bobby, if it's not that quarterback with pick number 9 overall, where are you looking? Is it in the trenches, O-line, D-line, or do you like, the Penn State tight end or, Ted McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona?
I like it all. Whoever we pick at number 9, we ain't developing them. They got to play. It has to be like Fuaga. Fuaga, it was good and very good at times. I don't say he was like outstanding great, but I think potentially he's going to be on that level. We need somebody to play right away and to answer the bell and be available, game in and game out. But I don't know, kind of like Charlie. I was talking with Charlie about this when I came cut some commercials for FanDuel. The linebacker from the Georgia Bulldogs, the hybrid guy, if they're going with a 3-4. Because he can get after the quarterback and be in coverage. His name's slipping my
Jalen
mind.
Walker.
Help me out. Yeah. That guy, I think if he's at number 9, I wouldn't worry about this year. I would take him over a quarterback and then address the quarterback situation next year. And who knows, we might get a better draft pick considering where we might be drafting and the quarterbacks available. Instead of picking 9, we might be top 5. So, I don't know.
Definitely appreciate you giving us some time this Friday, Bobby, when the news came out. Thanks for stopping by and be talking to you soon. Enjoy the weekend, man.
Yeah, beautiful weather. And, before you know it, the draft's going to be here, and that's always a fun time. So, you and Jeff, I'll talk to you all later.
Appreciate it. Bobby Hebert, the Cajun Cannon, joining us there, sounding off on the latest news. Derek Carr's status for the season reportedly in question. Going to get right into our Oakwood Heart Jewelers talk and text line. Folks wanting to sound off about Derek Carr. Marty and Mobile, you are up. What you got for us this Friday?
I just want to know, what does this mean to us cap-wise, and with all that money we're paying him? If he's not playing, is he just going to get paid?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, now there could be some outs based on what the injury is, if it was non-football related, if it happened like skiing or something like that. Like there could be some outs. It's very unlikely. It's probably something lingering from a prior injury. I don't know. But most likely what's going to happen is the Saints are on the hook for the full contract this year. They restructured that deal fully. So, for example, if they did cut him this year, they would do it as a post-June 1 cut. They would be on the hook for the $20 million they were already on the hook for this year, and then they would be on the hook for $59 million in dead cap next season. And we're all just assuming he's not going to play. Like, this could come out and he could be, okay, I'm ready. So that's all kind of part of the conversation. It's just the rabbit hole we're going down right now is a very morbid one. If they waited until next year, made him a post-June 1 released next year, then you would be talking $19 million in 2026 against the cap and $40 million in 2027 against the cap. That's just the reality the Saints find themselves in. They're paying Derek Carr. Whether he's healthy or not, they're paying him. That contract is essentially, at this point, fully guaranteed.
You mentioned this while we were in break, and I think you tweeted it out as well. This is nuts, man. We're considering, to the injury history, Derek Carr was pretty healthy during his time with the Raiders, and since coming here, sadly, it has not been the case.
No, he's been as durable as anybody. He missed 4 games in 9 years with the Raiders, and now you're just talking about injury. Problem for the Saints is they're not built to tank, right? So it's not like you can just easily just shift to all these veteran players. Yeah, we're not trying to win anymore. You know who's going to be funny to talk about this whole process? Kirk Cousins.
Interesting. Yeah, we didn't even bring him up.
We have 30 seconds left.
Could he end up going from Atlanta to the Saints? A vice versa of Bobby Hebert.
I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Again, everyone, thanks for listening. This has been a kind of a weird emergency edition. We'll have a lot more over the next week, nailing down a time with Steve right now to get a full episode done, hopefully Monday. If not, we'll get that posted on Tuesday. Going to bring back Devin Johnson later in the week to talk about a lot of this stuff as well. And obviously, we got a draft. We got a draft coming up, so it's not going to get less weird. Let's put it that way. Otherwise, thanks everyone for listening. As always, who dat? Go Saints. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Peace out, y'all. Be easy.